I think that OpTic should be pretty happy with the draft. I would say, looking back, that they definitely had an advantage and they should have been able to win that game, I would say, by like 30, 35 minutes if it wasn't for FN just going off.
Yep.
Yeah. So goddamn hard. So maybe they could change it up by putting more pressure on the mid lane and trying to put Saksa on a rotating hero that can try and shut down FN in the laning phase to make sure he doesn't had that snowball effect in the game, and it was pretty much the sole reason that Empire was able to hold out for so long.
Yep.
They should, I think they should just stop like overthinking things. Like they committed the brew split just to take down a tier 4 tower instead of just using it for a team fight. And then right afterwards they took a team fight and then they lost it. So I guess they are outsmarting themselves sometimes to a point where Empire just went with their momentum, especially in the last clash.
Yep. And it felt like the support play, especially from Maposhka, like we saw, just from Empire in general, seemed like on a whole nother level than what the first 2 days even. Like they really played up to their competition.
For the late game, yeah.
I like their late game planning. That was the nicest thing for me. They just like held that refresher shard on that shaman for a good like 15, 20 minutes, not 30, maybe more. Yeah.
Close,
They had it for such a long time, so they did have a plan going into it. And OpTic actually respect bans Shadow Shaman.
You know, sometimes you just don't know how to deal with the hero, right? And you're like, wait a minute, we don't have enough time to figure out how to do it. Let's just take it out of the pool.
And I think I was actually going to mention this last game, but I do feel like Empire a little bit reminiscent of Complexity in that regard, in that they look a lot better as a team when they do have a support that is able to push down objectives. Just something about their playstyle that's pretty fight heavy. If you're able to transition a fight into taking an objective. Of course, we didn't really see that from last game. It was just the Shadow Shaman ending the game towards the end with the double wards, but we didn't actually get to see any of that momentum in the early game when it came to taking some of those outer objectives that, unfortunately for Empire, they didn't really reach that state around 25, 30 minutes.
Same thing, though? They're continuing with their Ogre.
Yeah.
Doesn't give away anything, right? You just have a hero who does very good on almost all aspects of the game.
You said it after the first game, too, when we went back upstairs. I think Peter's just going to play Ogre every game.
Every game. Oh.
Imagine how tilted you must be, though, playing Ogre that whole entire game. And then you can't really determine the outcome of that game, right? Like, individually, your plays are not going to do a whole lot. And you end up losing it against Mega Creeps. You're like, you should have been able to close it out. And you're like, great, going to play another Ogre.
So, do we know if the AA, because remember, I think we were talking about it, or the people in MDL were talking about it, the 4% shatter is actually applied at all levels?
Yeah.
So that still is in the game, right? There was no pop fix, so that is still going to be there. But AA Sanking, this is one of Empire's classic combos they like to have. It's just great team fight, good securing of the lanes.
And it scares you, right? Because AA can always be in an aggressive tri lane. You always have to have that in the back of your mind.
Yep.
Now, OpTic, what... Do you just go with another support here, or do you go with... they've been seemingly picking Zai's hero a lot in the first phase. Usually it's a Brewmaster, which they banned out themselves, but you have plenty of time to think about it.
Which is the hero that's not banned? Coddle? Well, they actually go for the Slardar. So Slardar versus Sanking, one of the better matchups. You always can, when you corrosive haze him in the fights, you can't Sandstorm and be that elusive, obnoxious guy.
Makes sense.
Most of the other 4 positions don't really challenge Sanking very well, right? Like Clockwork, for example, Burrow Strike can get out of cogs. Burrow Strike and Sandstorm are usually a problem, one or the other, for most other 4 positions, except Slardar.
What are the weaknesses of Slardar, then? You talk about his strengths and stuff, but there's a reason we don't see him that often, right?
You want that Blink Dagger. Take a little bit of time to get it. But the way that Saksa plays it, he actually makes a lot happen in the laning phase, just running around. And wow, Omni Knight was left through too. We actually didn't call that one out.
Omni Knight's been left a little bit. I guess neither of these teams, even though we talk, I mean, right, Morph, Omni seem to be very strong heroes right now, but they let it. Omni will get banned out now.
Yeah. So Ogre plus Slardar, these 2 combos as well, gives you a lot of ways to always get that Roche secured. Bloodlust plus Corrosive Haze is going to always give them options to bring it down very quickly.
I always like the multi-shot heroes with Slardar because you're physical damage, so either Gyrocopter or Dusa, right? Because you have vision of these heroes as well. I think that's one of the great things about Flat Cannon with Slardar. Just being able to see the ally guarantees that all those shots are going to go to him and they do a lot of damage.
Yeah, I like that.
Well, if you were talking about both Empire and OpTic run pretty fast paced, but Empire actually dies a lot more. Even last game, right? Empire was dying a lot, buying back more. Do you want Empire to continue to just keep up that high pressure, or do you think after game 1 they're cool with sitting back?
Well, they got away with last game, but definitely over the long run, this is a best of 5 series. OpTic Gaming, one of those teams that can easily punish teams like Team Empire. Because as you mentioned, Team Empire, they like killing people, but the thing is, they die a lot more as compared to Team OpTic. Just by looking at the stats, I think they die about 24 times in a game on average in the span of 39 minutes. That's a lot of deaths that you could have.
That's a lot of deaths, yeah.
And OpTic can just punish it any time of the day.
And we do see Empire actually taking up that puck now. Are you thinking that's going to be the Ghostic hero? Is there any chance?
I hope it's the Ghostic hero because I think OpTic have a lot of mid heroes that are available with the Slardar that can match up really well. Right? So, for example, like DK, TA, like these kind of heroes would actually just do well in lane against the puck and have good synergy with Slardar Ogre.
I think in theory it's a flex pick because we don't know exactly where it's going to be, but I think we would like to see it on Ghostic more than likely. So now OpTic takes Beastmaster, even more Roche, Bloodlust plus Inner Beast plus Corrosive Haze.
A lot of vision as well, right? Corrosive Haze plus Beastmaster. Now, you have a hero who's been banned out mostly in the first phase by OpTic, actually, in most of their games, and they're going to take it up probably for Zai. Do you want to play it as more of a team fighter hero, or do you want to play it how it's normally played, just split push a lane and create pressure that whole time? Is that like the best way to play Beastmaster now?
I personally would say I think you played out teamfight because of the Slardar and the Ogre that you already have. For example, you pick up like a Lifestealer here. You could easily turn this initiation of the Slardar, quick pick off on the Lifestealer, and then just follow that up with a full push.
4 melee against an AA and a puck, though?
The only problem I have with OpTic is that they have this solo target heroes. And if they do pick the Lifestealer, that will be too much on a single target, I would say. And this will have Team Empire pick the Terrorblade probably, or the Doppel, or the Phantom Lancer, something like that.
Yeah, they do have a lot of single target. They have a lot of melee now, obviously. I mean, the old MVP Phoenix, they love to just run 5, and I mean, they made it work. Obviously, they were quite a special team.
I think Gyro or Dusa for OpTic.
Yep, I agree.
I think a BKB core could be nice, just because of that sinking AA puck to all magic damage, no physical coming out from them just yet.
Yep.
Luna is actually also good for OpTic just because of the objective taking potential coming out of that hero.
And that's a Pycat hero.
Yeah, definitely.
You're right. You already have Ogre and Beastmaster ready to boost up. I mean, it looks like OpTic is already going towards that single core, right? Into the late game just because of all these buffs. But Empire taking a little bit of the time here. They will end up taking the Sven. Usually a last pick here, they'll take it forth in an instant Medusa, like you guys said. Right. And Medusa decent versus Sven as well.
Yeah.
So who do you guys, like, out of this 4v4 right now, say there wasn't even a 5th hero, who do you guys like more?
I always like the Dusa over the Sven. But the timing can still work out for Sven, just because he is such a strong, not just a carry, but also an initiator for you, too. Sanking and Puck give you a lot of disable time, and the Ancient Apparition gives you that extra bit of burst. So they do have potential to be able to bring down these heroes on OpTic pretty quickly, even the Dusa. But there's most likely going to be an initiation advantage, just because OpTic do have the Vision hero from the Beastmaster.
And Vision hero, super good versus Sven in general, right? Just finding his stacks. You don't really see Svens get contested that much. Do you want to see it this game, right? That's why you have a Slardar Beastmaster?
Yeah, I don't know how much they can really contest in lane. Sven's actually pretty good versus Beastmaster.
I'm wondering what the last hero is for Pycat to really bring it together, because right now their fighting is actually quite weak if they just get ran at early on. Medusa takes a long time to get online, so they're gonna need some Pycat hero that just allows them to fight early on with these auras.
Yeah, and you saw Venge already banned out another aura and one of the earliest carry fighters.
If it wasn't for the Puck, I would feel pretty good about a Weaver pickup. Just because it would synergize pretty well with the Slardar. I think like Lifestealer is also still kind of acceptable. You just want some kind of fighting hero that buys time for the Dusa that takes advantage of your minus armor.
Yeah, Weaver. Yeah. Are you nervous picking Weaver just because of the Puck, or just because there's one counter you think it's fine?
I mean, just because the Puck Sven's also an armor hero for everyone, so...
We haven't seen much time yet. I just realized this tournament, it just came out of nowhere, and that's a hero that can fight early. Do you think is it going to be the more carry build, or is it going to be the more limp 4/4 nuke build, do you think?
I think you're focused on the Blink.
I think you're focused on the Blink.
Because it's great versus Puck. It can eliminate Sand King out of a fight. Obviously, Ancient Apparition's food.
So the stacks, do you give stacks to Medusa or Tiny early, or do you split them?
Probably Medusa.
Medusa. Just want to get her buffed up. All right, so Empire, you see the full lineup here. What
OD or something? I think they can.
Good call.
Oh, this guy's good.
This
Yeah,
Called one.
Yep, he did.
1 out of 10. Woo.
And FN, definitely the hero of last game, who just controlled early game, played great late game. Could have that OD to counter to the Medusa, but here we go, guys. Game number 2. Is there some mind games going on? Is OpTic tilted? Who do you guys like?
This is a really weird draft on both sides. Because we don't oftentimes see two teams in this patch stretch so much to late game and greediness, right? And OD and Sven on the same team, Dusa with a lineup that isn't necessarily the fastest because they have a Beastmaster. I think it's pretty tough to call, but I do like Dusa lineups in general better. So I'm going to stick with Dusa and OpTic.
I'm going to go with Empire with Outward Devourer, I would say.
Sounds good to me. Break the tie, bud.
I'm going to go Empire as well.
All right, so 2 Empire, 1 OpTic. We are going to jump right into game 2 with your casters, Lumi and Lyrical.
Thank you so much, Grant. And yes, we went through an hour and 5 minutes last game. We got some late game heroes again coming out for both teams. Lumi, how you feeling about it? Do you think OpTic have sort of solved the problems in the last game? It wasn't really draft, it was more like playthings, right?
Yeah, I think the primary issue was that they put all their eggs into the Pie-Cat basket. And once the Juggernaut got control, it got a lot harder for them to play.
Right.
I think drafting-wise, they have actually solved that. They have Dusa and Tiny as secondary cores. Even Beastmaster could become a good late-game core. So I think if they play as well as they did last game, OpTic should be fine.
You know, around the time of the Perfect World Masters, people were talking about Medusa as this hero that if you get to a certain point, the game is just over, as long as you're on decent farm. Do you feel like that's the case this game, really? How well do Empire deal with them in the later stages?
They have Ancient Apparition as a way to, well, shatter her in the late game. No matter how farm she gets, if you pump enough damage into her, that will be fine. Also, you have OD to actually pressure the Mana Shield. So even though Dusa is often considered as one of the best late game hero, Empire has the heroes well equipped to deal with Dusa. I think they'll be fine.
All right, well, we're moving out across the map. Early pickups as far as items go, nothing really that's standing out. The thing that's, again, kind of interesting is seeing that we've got the puck played in the off lane from Ghostic. He's been doing that a little bit more often nowadays. Do you think that he's going to run into any issues in this lane, or does he have a free time of it?
I think he's going to have some issue laning against Tiny. Tiny actually pressures most offlaner pretty hard. You can phase and dodge the tree throw, but... Okay, well, hold that thought.
Well, a little bit of a turnaround. Avalanche goes out. A crush connects onto 2. Vance scoring a little bit of trouble, but so too is the Slardar as they go forward. Trying to find the kill. Are going to be able to get him there in the trees. Miposhka draws first blood. Might pay for it, though.
Yeah, he's definitely getting ran at. Will die here. Avalanche coming off cooldown again, and a couple of easy punches should get the kill. But still, good win here for Team Empire.
Absolutely. Pie-Cat just going to clarity up now, and well, is this going to continue? Are we going to see a bit of an aggro coming out here? That looks like maybe not, as actually it's going to be the Sand King heading towards mid to try and mess with CC&C a little bit.
All right, so I want to talk about this lane matchup a little bit, because I think often people think this is an OD favorite matchup. If CC&C builds the right items, which is go Ring of Aquila, go a secondary Wraithband for your Hurricane Pike later on, just get raw damage, forget boots, and maybe even get a Magic Wand. You just out-damage the OD by like 20, and you should just out-CS them very nicely. Of course, you'll get countered late game, but you know, in the laning stage, CC&C should be fine.
Yeah, and you see right there, he already had it queued up, the other Aquila. Ghostic going to break that clarity and move back in. Try and dodge away from PPD so he doesn't get too much harassment onto him, but Ignite and a little bit more with only level 1, not able to dodge away from those. Ghostic's taking a pounding.
And Ghostic might have to orb defensively.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you take a look at the other lane that we were talking about there as PPD is finally going to be fended off. And it is a little bit dangerous thinking about the ice, or cold feet rather, into a Stormhammer if Zai gets a little bit too far out of position. But at least for now, he's been able to keep his distance and get some nice CS for himself.
He saw the Chilling Touch at level 1 during the top fight, so he knows that there's no cold feet. And until Miposhka hits level 2, there's nothing for Zai to be afraid of.
That's really nice. Well, again, Ghost Stick going to farm up there. Wrap around come in as well from the Slardar. He's able to secure himself one bounty rune and then get the second one as well, most likely. But everything fairly passive, and the big winner is the Tiny sitting top of the CS, 11-5.
Yeah, I'm going to keep my eyes out for any Ancient stacks to be done by either side. I mean, both teams actually could take Ancients very nicely, so the movement of the supports is going to be utmost important.
Yeah. Well, there we go. Moving in now. Get the cold feet onto Zai. Came a little bit late, and well, it's not going to proc because of that. Now Miposhka in a little bit of trouble as he's going to take some heat from the Slardar. The sprint forward as well. Good bit of damage, but we'll have to call off the charge.
You need to actually cast cold feet as the Stormhammer is flying out in the air. So that was, and if you do it, it's 4 seconds of change then. So kind of pretty critical mistake there. If you do that properly, you get a kill.
Silent in the meantime, just going to keep CSing. But yeah, Zai's having a really nice time on that Beastmaster so far. The big problem is going to be this OD 11-10 versus the 6-1 for CCNC.
Yeah, CCNC is playing this in a 2v1 situation. The Sand has been pretty much coming in the mid lane, disrupting FN, or rather disrupting CCNC quite a bit.
Well, Miposhka goes back in. It's a lot harder to make that play happen now with the Slardar in the lane as well. And that might have been their plan from the outset, is just make sure that Zai gets through a couple of levels by having the Slardar here to help him out. Again, able to get the imprisonment there. FN just dominating this lane, and CCNC can't be too happy about this.
Yeah, he should have the lane matchup advantage, but the Sand King's actually doing such an excellent job. I'm surprised that the Ogre isn't here to help out, because I feel like at a certain point, Pycat should be able to 1v1 pretty effectively against Puck.
Wow, and there we go. That's what we were talking about earlier. Just a quick and easy kill. Miposhka's actually even going to TP back.
Yep.
That's going to allow him to get to lane quicker, and maybe they can do it again.
Very good recognition of the time to go. They know 4 minutes coming up, and any good 4 position will be camped at the rune spot. So Empire did give up double rune to get that kill, but I think the kill is worth more than that.
Yeah. And Score in the meantime able to pick up one. PPD gets the other, and now he is going to head mid. But already it feels like some of the damage has been done. And 4 minutes in, a little bit of a lead to Empire, nothing to write home about, but they do have an invisible Slardar nearby, and well, Burrow Strike there, connecting onto one. PPD maybe in some trouble. They're bringing over FN as well. He's going to get caught there. Long duration stun. As we talked about, they do have him coming in. That's a big kill. Maybe going to be able to find another as well as FN in some trouble. They want to try and turn it around with the chilling touch. And FN able to walk away. Close call right there as well for Empire.
What a play by PPD. He knew he was going to die, but stay close to the Ancients.
Yeah.
And even got himself denied there. Holy crap. And that was the catch-up that CCNC needs. CCNC has like less last hit than FN's denies. This is looking terrible for him.
Yeah, really rough go. And level 4 right now on that Medusa. Slardar will pick up his Tranquil Boots there as well. So he can head back into another lane to cause some more mischief. Only level 2 for him though. So early game, you feeling like either team a little bit more happy with the way it's gone so far?
For OpTic?
You think so?
Or you're asking me which team is happier?
Exactly.
Empire is very happy with how they're going right now. They got the first blood, mid is being shut down. CCNC is by far going to be the true carry in this game, so giving him a rough time is always decent. Bottom lane for Empire, they're getting a couple kills there. Of course, Puck is struggling, but you know, you kind of expect that lane to go like that. So I think Empire is very happy with how pretty much every single lane is going.
Yeah, you see right there as well. They've got the Slardar in the area. He wants to be in position in case Pycat finds a chance for a kill. In the meantime as well, Zai is going to come battle here for the rune. Realizes if he sticks around, he's going to get stunned. Puck over here to the side as well. Stunned, but not quite going to work out. They do find the finish. Well played there.
It sucks like he's not even going to get the bounty rune. All right, good stuff.
Everything coming up OpTic in that little exchange. But still, it is a CS lead for that mid lane like we were talking about. And that hasn't really changed at all. As down here bottom, Zai going to get found, going to be caught, most likely going to be killed as they're thinking about diving under tower form, and they do get another one for Silent. Vanscore running away from Pycat. He's pretty deep here, and it does look like he's just going to be able to walk away while he lays out a little bit of harassment there on the Ghost Stick.
The OpTic that we've seen in this event so far has always enjoyed a very healthy lead, and this is going to be the first time that we're going to see them play from a position of being relatively behind right from the get-go. Let's see how strong is that jaw? Because they're getting wrecked on pretty hard right now.
Well, FN out of mana, but can't really do that much here as CCNC keeps on hitting with that Mystic Snake. Where do you see the next couple of rotations go? Anything about like level 6s, maybe possibly seeing a rotation from the puck at some point?
The puck might gank into the lane that Sven is in, or he might just have a TP ready to bail out the OD mid. The first Blink Dagger is actually going to come out, I think, from the Sven. Like, just given how well Silent's farming, he's going to go MOM and most likely into a Blink Dagger. And he's actually going to take the fight to OpTic relatively fast. Has a nice, juicy stack here for him to tick.
Yeah, I mean, people always talk about the ancient stacking, but even just this hard camp here, it's really nice.
Yep.
And Silent going to continue to accentuate that farm. 57 last hits at sub 8 minutes. In the meantime, Vanscore trying to come over and take this one away. Ghostic maybe in a scary spot, but no level 6 means they're not going to be able to find a kill. They drop down the ward, realize something could be coming, and Ghostic going to back out there as Pycat looking for a kill, possibly going to be able to find it. Does have the toss, but not able to connect.
Toss back.
Ghostic's going to be tossed back now. Does have a phase ship with a stun. It's, well, put together very well. Able to jump away for the moment. Ghostic tried to escape, and it's going to happen.
Tree throw?
Tree throw, it's not there.
And
oh, lordy,
stun?
lordy, lordy. Oh, stun is too late as well. Ghostic showing off his moves.
All right, that's a pretty sick juke. 5 heroes not farming the lane, just fighting in the river. I think that's actually in favor of Empire.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of Blink Dagger, looks like Pycat's also got one queued up. He is also looking to kind of drive up the tempo and take a fight. OpTic support smoked up, looking for a wraparound against OD.
Yeah, this one doesn't have quite the same survivability as the puck does, but FN just able to a little waltz away for the moment, is going to get stunned eventually, but no follow-up really. FN, he's fine with this.
OD has 7 base armor. Like, with Power Treads, Magic Wand, it's just a tough kill.
Look at how much CS this Sven has. 76 right now. His net worth is going to be off the chart as he just keeps on farming stack after stack. And it looks like he's actually just going to be going straight into the Echo Saber, maybe.
All right. The Echo Saber allows him to farm much faster and also allows you to have way higher burst damage once the Blink comes online. It's a little bit less aggressive, but I think they're okay with just straight up farming given how well the early game has been going for them.
3-3, 1K gold lead right now for Empire. CCNC has been able to catch up a little bit. He's actually on par with FN right now, as he ended up delaying those boots, and as you mentioned, going for the Wraith Band Aquila build. Do you think that they need to make any type of gank attempt onto CCNC in this game, or do you think they're comfortable just denying him later on the stacks?
I think it's going to be too hard to gank him now, even though Medusa doesn't have Stone Gaze right now. He's level 7. Like that is a possibility that he might have it. And also, I think the Radiant could be doing more elsewhere on the map.
Right.
Like right now, so let's say killing Tiny once would be very, very good.
Well, actually, they made that rotation up to try and find Tiny. He rotated bottom, but they did see the TP away, I think. So Silent might have an inkling that this is happening. It doesn't look like it actually spotted
It's a 4-man gank. Beastmaster Roar is going to happen on the bottom side. Saksa with a stun. They should have enough burst damage. Silent pops a war cry. In fact, he will survive. No, he's going to turn back. The coil's going to hit on 4. But there's no follow-up now that the Sven is dead. Here comes FN. Coil's going to snap. It looks like PPD will be dying because of the coil snap.
Yeah, can they find any more, though? FN's still looking for an opening, but everybody's too fast. They get out of there, and losing Silent doesn't feel good as CCNC takes the mid tower.
Not only did they lose Silent, they also force FN to port to the bottom. And like you mentioned, now CCNC gets a free lane. Saksa immediately ports back up top to work towards his Blink Dagger. That was a great trade for OpTic in the last engagement.
Well, maybe OpTic, they're getting outplayed in the laning stage, but making the right moves as we move towards the mid game. 4-4. What's the next move? Like, you talked about Blink Daggers potentially for these heroes later on. Is that what you want to try and see from Empire? Try and take advantage of the farm that the Sven's been able to get?
Yeah, both the Tiny and the Sven is going to be, ironically, the carry, but also the one that's going to be initiating the tempo in the fights relatively soon. Ice Blast sending up top against Saksa.
Oh, this would be a nice pickup if they can find it, but a little bit off the mark. as the Slardar are able to dodge away from the Ice Blast. Stack doesn't quite connect there for Vanscore, but he wants to be the other one to get in towards a Blink Dagger at a decent time. Level 5 already is Ghostic going to run here into the Slardar. Stun, not quite going to be there because of the silence, and they are going to be able to find that kill. Ghostic picking it up.
Normally you don't expect a offlane puck to be really having a huge impact before the Blink, but man, every time Ghostic shows up, he's doing a lot for the team.
That guy's a player.
Yep.
So second tier 1 taken now for OpTic, bottom and mid. And starting to feel like they're getting a little bit of a hold on this game as Silent is going to try and secure one of his own. Nobody else rotating in, the TP at least yet, but with the Slardar coming around, they might be able to make something happen here. Ghostic's actually out of mana right now. Silent in some trouble. They get the stun there. Pycat doesn't want to go too far forward.
We're going to see a lot of Blink Dagger in this game. Probably up to 6 Blink Daggers total. Beastmaster's working on it. Of course, Puck, we know it's going to be getting it eventually. Going to be one of those very high action games.
Yeah. Well, maybe an opportunity to see a gank before that comes out, as Sven is actually apparently going to go for a BKB next as well. He's got it queued up.
Okay. So just skipping the Blink entirely is very different from how Sven is normally played.
Yeah, we're going to have to see the other heroes make up for it in this one.
The thing is, I'm not sure if BKB is that great of an item, at least right now. You still have a lot of things that go through with it, namely the Stone Gaze, Beastmaster Roar, and even Corrosive Haze.
Yeah. Well, Silent still leading the net worth charts, almost at 7,000 here, 13 minutes in, as Ghostic underneath the ward. They did spot him there as Mapushka could throw up a Ice Blast to help out, and it looks like that indeed is going to be what they're looking for. Just a little bit of a petty one. Makes I take a little bit of damage for getting that rune.
Makes Zai a little bit paranoid, wondering where the enemy vision is.
All right, Silent moving down bottom. They want to try and find CC&C. They don't have Ice Blast, but now the jump forward, they're not going to be able to see him in time. CC&C gets out of there just a little bit too late.
One thing I do want to mention about the mid to late game is that last game we saw the Bloodlust being a huge factor for Juggernaut, you know, hitting as fast and hard as he did. This game, Silent has the option to take the Stormhammer Dispels enemy talent at level 20, which I think often gets overlooked, but against a Blood Rage team,
yeah,
I think it's actually very, very important that he does take it.
Bloodlust always so tough to deal with. Particularly when you've got that like one core that does so much damage. And well, a jump forward, there's going to be a Blink Dagger reveal. Well, actually, Ghostic able to dodge away at range creep, almost doing enough damage. And he does have that raindrop saving the lives, but no TP. He's so close right now towards getting that Blink Dagger, and it looks like he's going to be able to just walk the tightrope and get out of there.
Yeah, still kind of trapped. He now orbs to the right. Okay, should be good.
Gets the TP and we'll see. It's off cooldown now as well.
Yep.
God, raindrop saving lives.
I haven't mentioned it by now, but Puck has been maxing Waning Rift in this particular game. There's a lot of melee heroes, especially against Slardar, who is sprinting up to your face all the time. The Waning Rift max allows you to output way more damage than the Illusory Orb.
Yeah. That's something else that we saw in the last game too. A lot of melee heroes, as Vanscore gets hit there as well with the Corrosive Haze, but OpTic ready to start pushing these towers again with the timing of the siege creep being around. So lots of damage being dealt. The Puck will try and pull the creep wave and do some damage to it, and it does look like they're bringing in heroes to try and come and fight this. But already the tower's gone.
So far, Empire has played around the Tiny Blink exceptionally well. Normally when the Tiny Blink gets picked up, Pycat is able to walk around the map and get a ton of kills. And he might actually get a couple now. He finds an Invis rune down the river. I do believe that was actually seen by an Observer Ward, though.
Yeah. Oh, and they're actually moving down here. They want to try and find either Silent or Ghostic, but Ghostic just had his Blink Dagger delivered. Also, the Sand King has his Blink Dagger done. So even though they get this Invis rune, they've got all this stuff, the ward there, it's all scouted out, and they might be ready if Pycat goes too far forward.
Well, it's going to get broken. Do they have detection?
Doesn't look like it.
There's sentries available on Miposhka.
He's moving forward, wants to find somebody. They realize it now. They catch eyes on him. They're able to catch a great play, and they're going to be able to find Pycat. They get the kill. Oh, wow. That was beautiful. And now they found CCNC as well. Burrow Strike goes through at the same time as they're able to go for the Astral Imprisonment. But I don't know if this Medusa is going to be able to make his way out of there.
God.
CCNC in trouble. Drop down again. Empire. They're finding steam and going ahead.
They were able to hit her mana shield so hard that she didn't actually have mana for the Stone Gaze. Had she actually popped that, I think they will be actually fine. But 2 core kills, very important. Zai's Blink Daggers delayed. Looks like he's gone back for the Vlad's first. And OpTic really missing out on their timing.
Sanjin Yasha for the Dusa. So, you know, you look at that type of a play. Obviously, Pycat wanting to break the smoke and then stick around, see if you could find a pick-off, just feeling like they need to get these kills out of that early investment, but it ends up not paying off. And now, where do you go for OpTic? Because all the blinks are online for Empire.
I think it's time to hunker down and well, get up some very good war vision and try to anticipate their moves. Maybe go a little bit for Rat Dota as well. I mean, Beastmaster is one of the better heroes for that.
They did get the D ward there on the Radiant ward, but also spotted, and they find the kill onto PPD. The Hawk is going to drop as Zai heads back to his side of the map. But it feels like every move that OpTic is making, Empire is just prepared for it as Pycat tries to find Miposhka just a little bit outside of range. Lumi, feeling like OpTic are under fire at this point, and I'm not sure exactly what the move is here for them.
Just farm. The main objective they cannot give away is probably Roshan, but they only give away Rosh if they lose a big team fight. So for OpTic, they just keep on avoiding fights, farm effectively in the enemy jungle. This is something that I've seen OpTic do so many times. Look at the way that they're positioning in the enemy jungle right now.
Yeah. Oh, a roar, a TP in. They got Slardar here as well. It's a lot of damage onto OD. Can he get the out drop? He's able to turn it around. They've got the Ice Blast to follow. It's going to be a lot of damage. They're able to push away. The Hurricane Pike. They're making it work. Zai, he's going to drop. FN stays alive, a double.
Oh my God, FN. What a huge play. And now they ping out Roshan. I don't think they actually have the mana and the HP to do it. So they'll back out, but what a huge turn. That was supposed to be a kill onto the OD, but instead they turn it around. That Hurricane Pike play too, man.
Yo, FN is a player. He has been out of his mind this game in this series. You know, was able to lead in the early stages, CS, everything else. And last game, obviously, that Storm performance. Really, really showing up here, the Grand Finals. Oh, Silent? Realizes his creeps are gone. CCNC gonna shuffle away from him.
I see more and more Medusa actually go for SNY, which always struck me as a little weird because the I have Scotty is a relatively similar item, but it gives you the intelligence, which Medusa definitely wants. But the big key difference is that SNY lets you get online so much quicker and farm much damage faster into your next big items. Gonna be working towards a Hurricane Pike. And now mid lane fight.
Trying to turn it, but Miposhka gonna drop. Well played there by Pycat. They're able to find one kill. Now looking for another. Amp damage is there as well. CCNC finds the kill. OpTic striking back and immediately to Roshan.
Yeah, they have more than enough ways to actually take it down. They got Medallion Courage, they got Corrosive Haze. And it's gonna be the Aegis going towards OpTic.
You can see though, somebody's got an inkling that this is happening. They've got extra movement speed there on the Slardar, but spotting out, Roche is very, very low, and Ghostic doesn't want anything to do with that.
Saksa found the puck, just gaining on him, making sure that he doesn't come in, but Saksa might actually pay for it.
He's able to jump away. Coil is already down. They snap it. Ghostic still in their vision. Pycat gonna find the kill. Can they do it? Ice Blast is coming in. Oh God, it caught onto the Slardar. He's dead. He got baited.
Oh no. My God, Puck. Ghostic once again. He's giving them the loopy-loop.
Oh, he survives. He's only died one time this game so far. Been involved in 8 kills. But still, it's CCNC holding on to that Aegis right now as Enscore runs into him. Burrow Strike got him caught. He does have Zai nearby. The rest of the heroes on the other side of the map, though, and Silent is there. They do have a roar, gonna try and keep CCNC alive. They actually push Ghostic back over there by the trees. He's stuck alone. They can't get him out of there for the moment. We'll have a Blink Dagger soon. But Vanscore looking for more on a PPD. Pycat comes in as well. Can he save the rest of his teammates? Doesn't look like it.
Well, CCNC's trying back up. They want to fight this right now. It's going to be Stonegaze coming in, and they're going to go for Silent. Silent tanking everything. The Ice Blast's going to come in as well. Going to go on Pycat. Pycat will shatter, but he won't trade his life. CCNC standing in the middle of everything, eating the huge ultimate from Sanking as well. The Aegis will trigger. Huge hammer gets dropped in, and he wants to keep on fighting. CCNC's Mana Shield's burning. CCNC wants to stand his ground fight, but he can't. It's going to be Cup coming back in. FN getting the triple kills, plus 72 intelligence after the huge ultimate.
It was all of the plays. Ghostic staying alive just barely. The recognition that they could take that fight, and of course FN coming in with the big dunk at the end. They are firing on all cylinders right now. Empire looks terrifying.
Yeah, the problem was OpTic had to use their stuns in a retreating fashion. That was a very good Beastmaster roar, locking down one and pushing aside a couple other, but normally when you see a Beastmaster use his roar, you see a kill immediately happening after. This is after the roar has happened, and OD and all of this is hitting so many hits and getting so much in.
Yeah.
I think he started a fight with like maybe 4 int, and then towards the end of the fight he got 72. I mean, you could do the math.
Well, you take a look at that, saving Vanscore as well, making sure that he's able to get that secondary burrow strike. Enough damage came out, and Ian, look there as well. Ghostic living on just absolutely nothing. Gets the coil down and makes sure that FN can get that finish. Beautiful play right there from Empire, and OpTic again struggling to find an answer for this OD that's just taking over this game.
I think Beastmaster needs to work on a Heaven's Halberd, because this arm is so important in this game against both the Sven and the OD. That would be a good look too. Even the Slaughter might be a good item purchase for him to consider. It is very expensive though.
No, definitely. A long duration, and BKB is done now for Silent with the Sanjin Yasha, and I believe Hurricane Pike was flying out for CCNC. I could be wrong about that.
No, you're correct.
Okay.
He does have the Pike coming out. One of the best anti-Sven items. He blinks on you, you push him away.
Oh, but you look over here at Empire again, and they're trying to move towards mid lane as they wanted to catch OpTic with this smoke, but it does not end up happening as OpTic all going to back out, head to the other side of the map. A little bit too scary.
I know a lot of the focus has been on, you know, the OD countering the Medusa, but let's not forget that with the changes to Grow on Tiny, Tiny also gets plus 15 armor, which of course the Dusa orb attacks also ignore. So I think the Dusa final pick was super good in this game.
Yeah. Aposhka, level 13. The tier 2 tower going to fall here. Silent going to take every creep away from the Beastmaster, and towers down, no response really. Empire maybe going to be under fire there. Here with Silent, he's underneath the ward. Oh no, excuse me. It's OpTic that's underneath the ward. They realize what's coming his way. So Silent's going to back out there and jump forward, roar onto 1. Can they turn this back around? They got the throw strike onto 2. The great play, but Kai, he's able to turn it. Silent doing a ton of damage. The Ice Blast coming in is going to be enough damage as well to bring them down. It doesn't look like it. Ghostic is going to need to get out of there, and he does manage to escape. But a big win there for OpTic.
Man, what a burrow strike from the Sand King. That almost was enough to save him, but OpTic wins a much-needed fight, gets a little bit of farm time.
Yeah, that was a really, really solid play there from OpTic. And Empire just a little bit too much confidence. So next couple minutes here, it's still a 4,000 gold lead for Empire. But it does feel like OpTic has found a little bit of footing.
Yep. And even though that Dusa counters both the enemy core so well, I don't think... Or, sorry, when I said Dusa, I meant the OD. Even though OD does so well against both Dusa and Tiny, I don't think the OD could actually do it all by himself.
Right.
Given the fact that there's so much lockdown that he has to worry about. Slaughter in particular is going to be great. Beastmaster, of course. And this is all before Heaven's Halberd come out. So I think the rest of Empire needs to, you know, itemize a little bit more for the late game. I think AA is a huge part of the late game for Empire, but of course Miposhka has been playing the hard 5, so it's really rough on him.
Yeah. And he still managed to get a lot of levels for himself, if nothing else. But needs to continue to do that. He's got the GPM talent. So a DD here maybe picked up by FN. Possibly they save it for the Sven. Although it looks like CCC is heading over that way. Do they want to take a fight with this, though? That looks like it's just going to be used for farming. So next Roshan, still a couple of minutes before it's capable to respawn. Vision in the area. Neither team really has great view over it, but Beastmaster's always going to give that advantage because of the Hawk as a smoke up from Empire.
And OpTic is fully aware of that smoke. They're hiding in a very defensive spot.
Yeah. Empire may be realizing that the jig is up. They're going to be pushing out this mid lane and try and take down the tier 2 tower. There's still a tier 1 down bottom as well, which they're going to need to clean up at some point. So Lumi, as this game continues on, any big items that we need to keep an eye out for either team?
I think this game is about kiting the Sven from OpTic's perspective, right? They're building multiple Force Staff. Even Beastmaster is going into one. Of course, Medusa has one from the Pike. And the game plan is to kite out the duration of that BKB. And of course, likewise, it's going to be up to the Puck Coil, the Sand King to allow the Sven to pump his damage. Of course, the OD is a big factor in this damage output department as well.
And watching for maybe BKBs coming out there as well. You see the Tiny picks up his, which can help to mitigate all that damage that the OD does. Also worth noting, CCNC just now getting into the 800 mana talent. One of the biggest power spikes for Medusa, I feel like, where you just basically become unkillable for a long period of time.
Yeah. I mean, even at level 15, like getting the Mystic Snake mana steal increase also could help him like get much more mana in the team fight.
Yeah.
But here comes OpTic smoked up. They just finished the tiny BKB like you mentioned. And this is before Puck finishes his Ags, so...
Oh, and they're walking forward. Ghost Stick, he throws out the orb, does have phase shift as well as Eul Scepter. Can he get it off? No. No way to stop that one. Ghost Stick drops in an instant.
Well, they're going to force a buyback.
Yeah, they'll try to, for sure. Meanwhile, the rest of them trying to move back as well. Sven isn't in the base. They have to walk back to this one. FN throws out a couple hits. They're able to dodge away from the Ignite, but Maposhka also gets hit as they try and take down that ward. CCNC just dealing damage from the low ground even. But it looks like they're holding out for the moment.
I mean, CCNC's getting some free damage onto the building.
Yeah.
Glyph is going to get forced out. And it looks like they're happy with the damage they've done.
So, at various points last game, it felt like OpTic was sort of in a position where they could end the game possibly. Granted, that was obviously with mega creeps and everything else. Is there any worry that if they start to, you know, not keep up the pressure a little bit, that later on Empire is going to run wild on them?
I don't think so. I feel like both teams has a ton of option when it comes to split pushing. Beastmaster, Sand King, some of the best heroes in the game for split push. And even if you take a lane or Rax or two against either team, they could easily defend with Deuce on one side, Sven on the other.
Yeah.
So it really comes down to fights. This game is about getting the proper initiations, using Force Staff defensively, Astro defensively. And now Roshan just being snuck here by Empire.
Yeah, this is big. Normally with the Solar Crest and rather Medallion and everything else, it's kind of tough to sneak that Roshan. Yeah, they realize that CCNC, though, his TP's in his backpack, so it's going to take him a little while to get here. The jump forward, Podcat trying to make it happen. They pop the BKB as well. Silent's going to try and turn and fight against him. Can they actually do it? And off to the side, the coil is going to keep the rest of OpTic outside of this fight for the moment. Meanwhile, CCNC has started to show up. Vanscore going to get caught. There's going to be some damage. They will have catch the turnaround. The roar, it's there onto the OD. He's left completely alone. Can they find the kill? He manages to Astro himself for the moment. Off on the other side, Podcat's trying to chase down Ghost Stick, but FN somehow able to jump his way out of there. Two still fall. OpTic winning this fight.
And now that means Roshan's going to be freed up OpTic. We've seen how quickly they could take Roshan. They'll quickly slam it down again. That was a very curious play by Silent. He was holding towards that BKB charge. Well, now he's going to come in and assassinate BBD.
This is a okay catch there. Silent still trying to fight a little bit. They jump forward with FN. My God, they do a ton of damage there. So they end up taking down two, and now Maposhka can get lifted in. Killed off. And Aegis on Dusa making this tough. Well, with Aegis there and OpTic, you know, they don't have the Ogre and the Slardar, but are they going to just try and siege high ground with this now?
They might poke in a little bit, but they probably won't be too successful in terms of any kind of long-term siege. Heroes are respawning.
Yeah.
I think once the butterflies finish on CCNC, they could start thinking being more on the offensive, but until then.
So, Medusa, Lincoln Sphere, Hurricane Pike, like you said, building towards that butterfly. Also, getting close to that 25 talent if they want to get to it eventually. But it does feel to me like it's still this separation where maybe the Tiny a little bit further behind the Sven and the OD as far as what his effectiveness has been this game.
Even though Tiny's somewhat behind, his effectiveness is still very high because he pretty much could do the same thing that Sven is doing, which is cut to the back line and just assassinate supports.
Right.
I do want to kind of mention a little bit more about this Lincolns on Medusa. I mean, it's not anything new. We see it all the time. This game has a ton of good blocks, but in particular that it's so important for her to have the Lincolns during the high ground siege. Because what ends up happening is when Dusa is hitting from the low ground, OD will blink next to you and pike, push you back and get it in that 4 to 5 extra hits. And that could add up in terms of stealing in and mana from you. But with the Lincolns, OD can't make those kind of plays. And generally, OD could actually stack up maybe 25, 30 in before the actual fight happens with the blink pike play.
Right.
But of course, the Lincoln prevents that.
Well, OpTic again looking for a pick here. Silent was able to dodge the first initiation. Now Vanscore going to be found. Amp damage is there. And he 4-staffs away. Okay, living for the moment. Trying to jump, but they use the roar every damn thing. And they take down that Sand King. Silent's still farming like it ain't no issue. But they don't have Sand King now. And OpTic in a position to maybe punish. Is Silent going to get found there? I see him, but I don't think they can do anything. Yeah. Bottom lane is where the pressure's coming. And CCNC starting to take the racks. There's no response here at all. They're not in a position to turn this back around as PP keeps them back away. And the first barracks falls. Silent walking forward, gets a stun. That's only to break the Lincolns, though. And OpTic just get away with the free lane of racks.
Empire is just reacting very slowly. Like, I don't know what the heck that was about.
Now, just, I guess, some miscommunication there. Obviously not wanting to take a bad fight. If you lose a fight at that stage of the game, you're going to lose probably 2 lanes of racks instead of just 1.
Actually, I think credit goes to PBD for that play. He was basically hounding the Sven during the engagement. I think he held his stun, right? If Sven ever went in for a TP, he would just cancel the TP. So Sven basically had to just walk from the top racks to the bottom. And a result that gave enough time for OpTic to take that lane of racks.
Well, Empire certainly used to being behind in racks after that last game. And it's a 5,000 gold lead for OpTic.
I mean, OpTic didn't even lose anything for that. Now mid lane's Roar's gonna come up, but Silent had the Lincolns. Looks like it blocked Vanscore a little bit less lucky.
Look at the damage! Just gets eviscerated there by CCNC, the butterfly. Making all the difference.
Well, Sand King's dead again. 45 seconds without buyback. I think OpTic's going to take another lane of racks.
FN in position here to try and hold off, but like you said, can't really stack up the in as effectively as he would have been able to before. And now they found Maposhka over here as well. They're going to have eyes on this guy. This is not the easiest defense in the world. Still 29 seconds with no Sand King.
With the solo crest on CCNC, it's going to make him all the but more difficult to take down.
Well, another crush over there. Ghost Stick is in the phase shift for the moment. Pycat jumps forward. They don't quite find him, though, and there's going to be the coil, the turnaround. The BKB, it's a lot of damage there. Able to get the phase shift. Ghost Stick going to jump away, realizing he's in danger. Silent is taking so much damage. CCNC walks forward and finds the kill. That's no buyback on the Sven. 78 seconds on the sidelines.
CCNC finishes the range racks of melee now to follow. Aegis is down, though, so this might be the opportunity.
God,
He's actually doing so much damage.
Epicenter,
Oh
it's
no,
not
he
on
got
time.
banished! Oh, the misplay here from Empire, and now they would lose pretty much everybody. CCNC still standing strong. This is GG.
My goodness, OpTic came to play in that game #2, and it just looked like they never really stood a chance. Well, big win there for OpTic, bringing it back. We're all tied up 1-1 apiece.